Why didn't nations like Canada and Australia have a revolution like America did in the 18th century? Was it because Canada and Australia were better governed than America?
Well, yes and no. Firstly, Australia didn't exist until 1788, when the first settlement. And for the first 30 or 40 years of its existence, it was a convict colony, prison colony. So, they were simply happy not to have been hung. Later on, they would develop a local oligarchy, but having learned from their mistake in America, the British took it under their wing, as it were. With Canada, it was a bit different because the 13 colonies had developed an oligarchy that eventually brought about independence for themselves. But in Quebec, such an oligarchy as there was with the Seigneurs, and they, loyalty to the crown, first the French and then the British, was at the very heart of what they were supposed to be. And there was, of course, also the Quebec Act, which gave the French Canadians their language, religion, and laws. So there's no reason for them to revolt.
Yeah. The
few English that were present, the few Anglophones, were merchants.
Yeah.
And they were dependent upon the mother country for security. The real beginning of Anglo-Canada were the waves of Americans who fled the Revolution to go there. But they were loyalists, so they weren't going to be revolting. So that's why.
How did you said the oligarchy, the small oligarchy in Australia, that England satisfied them? They didn't make the same mistake. Well, what does that mean? They said.
Well, it meant they gave them responsible government pretty soon. That is, in the Australian colonies, then became the Australian states when it was federated in 1901. So they already were occupying a lot of recognized power. They were willing at an early time to settle for what was basically, rejected by Britain during the Revolution, which was the idea of a divisible crown. In other words, that the king could be king of Great Britain and king of the colonies as separate beings. Well, that came to be accepted by the British. So the Queen today is still Queen of Australia. But legally, that has nothing to do with her being Queen of Great Britain, except that they're the same person. Similarly with being Queen of Canada, Queen of New Zealand, and so forth.
I see.